Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. In this one, I am going to be breaking down the official Dark Water level gameplay from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign. So if you guys weren't already aware, a little bit earlier today, at the time of making this one, we received our first ever gameplay footage of Modern Warfare 2, being that at the Summer Games Fest event for 2022, they actually showcased almost the entirety of the level Dark Water from the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down that footage and highlighting certain things that you might have missed. So with that all being said, as you guys can see, we're over here on YouTube actually, and we are about to watch this particular trailer. I have a couple of notes that I do actually want to talk about, so let's actually dive right into it. As you guys can see, a likely mature 17+, ESRB pending rating. And naturally, the level is going to be called Dark Water.
That's our target. Shadows 1 and 2. Push to your hook points. Let's invite ourselves in.
All stations, ship is visual.
Copy. Prep for assault. Stay on comm. We board, clear, disarm that missile.
Be ready for anything. This could be a trap.
Alright, now the first thing that I would like to mention, and that is this particular level is actually very similar to the Only Easy Day Was Yesterday level from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 game, and that actually highlights a point that I want to talk about Modern Warfare 2, and that's the developers stated that they weren't directly copying from the original 2009 game, however they were drawing a lot of inspiration, and I think this is a really good example of that, because both this level as well as the Only Easy Day Was Yesterday level follow a very similar premise, and before we get too far, I just wanted to highlight that, so let's continue on.
Actual, we're set.
Copy, get to work.
Good hook. Up and at him.
Alright, as you can see, we still have the same mechanic over here from Modern Warfare 2019 as well as Warzone. And okay, as you guys can see, this is the first instance where you actually get to see a weapon in Modern Warfare 2, and this one is actually the Vector, which is very similar to the Vector that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019, aesthetically speaking, and we also get to see a little bit more footage of this weapon in action, so yeah, I thought that's kind of interesting.
Terrible. 2-1, making entry.
So, cut right clear through.
Also, if we go back just a second here, we actually get to see the red dot sight, which as you guys can see, this red dot sight is very similar to the one that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. Naturally, since Modern Warfare 2 is a sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, we're going to see a lot of similar optics, attachments, weapons, that sort of thing. And this is a really good example of that. Now let's move on a little bit more.
Room clear. Coming out.
Shadow 1, moving to the southeast stairwell. Two above.
Also, it's worth noting that graphically speaking, Modern Warfare 2 looks really nice, and it is very obvious why they chose this level to show off, and that's because since there's a lot of rain and a lot of water on the map, you get to see a lot of reflections, and that aesthetically speaking looks better because they're able to show off reflections and they get to show off particles and how the water is hitting the screen and all kinds of things like that. So I will say, aesthetically speaking, Modern Warfare 2 is looking really good.
Balcony door undone.
Ghost, we're moving to the main deck. What's your status?
Boarding the ship with Shadow 3.
Also, talking a little bit about the weapons, you can see this particular operator over here is using a P90 style weapon, which is kind of interesting. Also, a little bit earlier, we saw some of the boarding party using kind of an MP5 style weapon or something of the sort.
Roger that.
Run down! Rush out!
Eyes on that container now.
2 copies, moving.
We gotta roll.
Shadow 1, Ghost, visual on flare.
Okay, now we actually get to see a little bit of rifle gameplay over here. Now, personally, I would say that this weapon actually looks like the ACR from Modern Warfare 2. Interestingly enough, in the actual reveal trailer that we got to see for Modern Warfare 2, you can see one operator is using like an ACR style weapon, and this particular weapon actually looks a lot like the ACR or possibly something like the SCAR. And also we're going to get to see a little bit of footage of them shooting it, so let's see that.
Flares coming from the ring. Push your status over.
Ghost, they're signaling the ship. They're gonna launch that missile.
It's first stage.
Also, very similar to the red dot sight, we get to see a little bit of footage of a VLK 3x optic. As you guys can see, this is exactly the same as the VLK 3x optic that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. So that once again just goes to show that a lot of the optics that we saw back in Modern Warfare 2019 are going to be coming into Modern Warfare 2022, and they're going to be pretty much identical, but they may look a little bit crisper because, you know, it's a newer game.
It's first stage. There's still time. All shadows. Missile is on the helipad. 2-1, we're moving to secure. Cover us. 2 copies off. Move to the helipad, Sergeant. Go, hit the stairs. Flank 'em.
Clear.
Actual, this is Shadow 1. Big is secure. Moving on the container now.
Roger that. Confirm when the objective is neutralized.
Open.
Where are the controls?
On that damn
Also, once again, we get to see a little bit more footage of this P90 style submachine gun.
ship. Actual, we got a problem. Missile is armed. Controls are somewhere on the ship.
You have your orders, son. Stop that launch.
Let's go, let's move out! Ghost, this is Zero 1, back in the water, inbound, to your position!
Solid copy. We're taking effective fire. The LZ will be hot.
Roger that! Once we're on deck, we push to the bridge! Fast! Secure those controls, stop this vessel, yep! How do we board? Take the ramp! Hold tight, Sergeant! Let's have ourselves a gunfight! Missile controls are on the bridge!
Alejandro, maintain overwatch from the rig. We're forcing up. Copy that.
And okay, as you guys can see, this is actually the third weapon in the actual gameplay level that we get to see the operator using, and this one honestly looks like a Model 680 style weapon. As you guys can see, it looks like it's a pump action shotgun. However, once you actually see the operator shooting this weapon, it doesn't look like they're actually working the pump action, so it's possible it could be semi-automatic, something kind of like the Spaz 12, but I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the gameplay because this is pretty sick.
Reloading.
They're forcing up. I'm moving.
Containers are the only cover we have.
Just don't get caught between them. How far are you from the bridge? This is 1. We're pushing towards the entry now. Copy that. They closed off the bridge entry. Secure the deck and we'll blow the door.
Visual on bridge entry.
Clear! Check it. Controls are internal. All right, stand back. This is Shadow 1 going explosive on bridge entry. 3, 2, 1, execute!
And that is naturally where the gameplay ends. And of course, when we do end up playing this campaign level a little bit later in October, we are going to be seeing, of course, how this particular mission ends. And yeah, guys, with that being said, that's going to effectively wrap up today's video, breaking down the official Dark Water level gameplay from the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. If you guys haven't already, make sure you comment down below what are your thoughts on Modern Warfare 2. Did you enjoy watching this particular campaign level? Also, were there things that you noticed that I didn't point out in this video? Make sure you comment all of that down below. Also, if you guys went on to enjoy this one at any given point in time, make sure you leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe. And turn on post notifications, so that way you guys will not miss any VLAs from greatest Call of Duty news, class subs, intel, and so much more. So thank you once again for watching. I'm your host, Deeper Jungle, and I hope to see you in the next one.